So, have you ever noticed how everyone in Washington seems to be talking about this new book about Donald Trump's White House? It's one of those stories that getting a lot of attention online because it promises to show what was supposedly happening behind the closed doors instead of what everyone saw on the TV. Now, before getting into it, here's the important part. The book makes a lot of claims, but there are still claims made by the authors. Donald Trump has completely rejected the book and says it's full of false information. So, what we are talking about today is the book alleges. Now, not something that has proven as fact. The book is called Regime Change, and it was written by the journalists Maggie Haberman and Jonathan Swan. Now, they're both well-known political reporters, as we all know that, and they say they spent years speaking with the people who were close to the administration. So according to the authors, they conducted more than 1,000 interviews put in this book together all. What makes this story so interesting isn't about politics, it's about the people always wonder what really happened behind this probably closed doors, off cameras. We usually only see speeches, press conference, probably a social media post, but book is like to try to tell a different story about the private conversation, disagreements, and personalities inside the White House behind the closed doors. Now, one of the biggest reasons people are talking about the book is because it describes an environment where loyalty was extremely important. So according to the authors, people around the Trump were constantly trying to prove that they were on his side. They described a White House where relationship and probably trust matters a lot more than the experience. The book also includes stories about the people who were closest to Donald Trump. Now, some of those stories involve longtime aide Natalie Harp. The author describes probably one of Trump's most loyal supporters, claimed she played a unique role in staying close to him throughout the day. Now, those descriptions have attracted a lot of attention online because people are curious about how influential adversaries people are behind the scenes. Now, another reason the book has become such a talking point is that it includes stories about tensions involving several high-profile figures connected to the administration. So these are kinds of probably behind-the-scenes accounts that naturally gets people talking about. They involve personalities, relationships, internal disagreements rather than policies. But here's what's so important to slow down, because a book contains detailed stories doesn't automatically make probably every story true. Political books often rely on anonymous sources. Sometimes those accounts are later confirmed, sometimes they are disputed, and sometimes they remain impossible for the public to verify. That's why it's important to separate what the author claims from what has been independently confirmed. Donald Trump's response was immediate. He dismissed the book, saying it was inaccurate and politically motivated. And his point of view, these stories are simply another attempt to probably critique and part of a media to attack him. So you have two completely different narratives. On one side, the author says revealing what really happened behind the closed doors, but on the other hand, Trump says they are making things up, and absolutely those are false. That's probably why this book has become such a big story. It's not about whether people support Donald Trump or oppose him. It's about how much people trust insiders' accounts in general. Some probably readers think experienced journalists uncover important information that the public wouldn't otherwise know from anywhere. Others, they believe anonymous sources can make it difficult to judge what's actually true and what's actually not true. So if you follow the American politics over the last several years, you've probably noticed a pattern right here. Every time a major insider book comes out, it dominates the headlines for days. People start debating individual stories. Television shows discuss the biggest things. Social media just fill up with arguments, and supporters and critics reach out completely to each other and they just debate. Conclusion after reading the exact same material, but they have all different views. That's exactly what's happening right now. Again, the conversation isn't only about what's inside the book. It's all about the Americans should believe these kind of insider account in first place. Some people, they say these kind of books keep valuable transparency, and others, they will argue to generate the headlines and sell copies for more money. At the end of the day, this story shows how divided political environment has become. One book can completely create a different reactions depending on who's reading it. Some people see a revealing look inside the White House. Others, they see a collection of disputed allegations that shouldn't be treated as an established facts. Now, we have different views. So whatever your opinion is, one thing is very clear. This book has become one of the most talked about political stories in United States of America right now. And the debate over what's true, what's not true, what's exaggerated, and what's still impossible to verify is likely likely to continue for quite some time. I think so. And this book is just taking off the top, and social media is just going crazy with this all, and they are probably creating the false more and more stories. So let me know in the comments below what was revealed in this book. Is it true or false, or everything false, or something can be true or something can be false? What Donald Trump, he is basically denying all the things what is written in the books. So let me know in the comments below. Thank you. See you in the next video, and thank you for supporting the channel.